A woman that works for Delta just came by and said, "Do you work for Delta?" Not exactly. Just do a YouTube show. It's a little loud here to try to tell this story, but I'm going to try to do it fast. A buddy of mine, he tried to model his sales organization after his top performer. And I use this story to illustrate the difference between data and insight. What he did was he watched the top rep and he reverse engineered how he spent every minute of his day. And he realized that he really wasn't spending a lot of time prospecting. He was spending more time answering email and responding to clients. And he thought this would be a good model for other people. Since this rep could spend maybe an hour and a half prospecting each week, that's what he'd require of other people. And since he could make 5, maybe 6 calls, he thought that would be a good idea for other people because, look, he wants everyone to be as successful as his best rep. And I asked him about the data, and he showed me this rep's performance had been wonderful, and it had grown over the 5 years that the rep was with him. And it makes perfect sense when you look at it. As he's been there, he's gotten better and better and better, and he's built a bigger book of business. But when you started to look at where the clients actually came from, what was interesting is that whenever one salesperson would leave, he would inherit their accounts. And so his growth actually was not the growth of somebody who's prospecting and creating new opportunities. When I challenged him, he discovered that the growth was the fact that this rep had been there long enough that he inherited everyone else's clients. That's the difference between data and insight. If you look at the data by itself and you don't ask a lot of questions and you don't dig deeper and you don't understand the context, then the data is useless. It's going to give you an answer to something, but when you look at that, it may not be the answer that's right for the situation or the context that you need it in. And that's the difference between data and insight. Predictive analytics, great. Big data, wonderful. We're going to use it, but small data is equally as important. And if you really want to know the story, you've got to dig so that you understand the story. You do not want to tell people to model themselves off of someone who inherits accounts, because ultimately that's not going to grow your business. And when you look at the data, you want to make sure that it matches up, and you want to make sure that it tells a story that you can verify when you look at the behaviors behind it, and so you can make sense of it. I'm Anthony Iannarino. This is Everyday.